Happy Transcending Tuesdays.
Today,
We are reporting live.
yeah, we are reporting live actually from the green room. So it's unedited. It's not cut. No cameras. Literally, we're doing this off of iPad and my iPhone full light and a little ceiling light. But we're coming at you live today. Episode 3. Topic of discussion: anxiety and depression.
Anxiety and depression.
So, we're gonna sit down and explain to you that you guys are not the only ones that go through it. Us, even though we come off like these chipper, happy go lucky people, we suffer from anxiety and depression. Terribly. But, question: what fuels your anxiety or depression?
I could name a couple of things that fuel my anxiety and depression. When I feel like I'm not doing enough, when I'm doing too much, um, work, being in a large amount of people fuels my anxiety. It just really depends, it's something that occurs very often. So different things. What about you, Sawyer?
Well, what fuels my anxiety mostly is being in closed spaces for too long, being around too many people, um, just talking, honestly, just even holding simple conversation will fuel my anxiety, and within 2.5 seconds, I'll start fidgeting. Like, you guys see me on camera all the time, but that's edited. You don't understand how long it takes to get those shots because I can't stay still. Um, and really just anything that involves me leaving my room,
Leaving a
honestly.
safe
This
space.
is the safe space, the green room. Like I get anxiety just thinking about going outside sometimes. What fuels my depression? It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. I'm 23, and when you're young, 16, 15, you used to say to yourself, "Oh, when I'm 18 years old, I'm gonna have my own car. I'm gonna have my own house. I'm gonna have a beautiful job. This, that, and the third." You know, you get to 18, you realize it's not that easy. Then you're like, all right, in my 20s, I'm gonna get together, I'm gonna have it all together. Life hits you a little harder, you realize it's not that easy. So what fuels my depression mostly is like, I feel like I'm a failure. I feel like I disappoint people. Um, I've always been a straight A student, a grade grub. I've like literally went through school, straight A's, all of that. But I have an issue with being a perfectionist. If it's not perfect, then it's it's a failure. It's wrong. What fuels your depression?
Um, I would say pretty much the same thing. The fact that I'm 24, and yes, I've accomplished a lot, but
Not
I've
enough.
also, yeah, not enough. And not, oh God, financially, that shit depresses me every day.
Son,
And
what we used to think twenty
yeah,
dollars was lit. Like, yo, we got $20. Yo, we balling.
$20 is worth $2, maybe like two quarters. But it's just, yeah, the way things are economically right now, it's hard. Um, losing focus in school, or just, I don't know, a lot of life situations. I understand life is about trials and tribulations, and there's a lot of things in life that really fuels that that side of me. And it's a really dark place. It's a very dark place because it's like a cage. It's like walls.
Just surrounding
Yeah,
you.
just like closing it
Feeling
every
like
time, and
you're
it's
just
just
pacing
like,
back and forth.
oh my God, what do I do? I'm never gonna get out of this. But my good days are good.
My bad days are just bad. um, there's always been a moment in your life, in a particular moment at any given time. What was a moment where your anxiety or your depression got the best of you?
Um, I always think back to this one situation where I realized how bad my anxiety can get. Um, I was young. I'd say 13, 14, and I was just not I was drinking a lot. So then it was causing a lot of havoc and stress in my household, of course. A lot of tension between my mother and I. And uh, one night, I had drank a lot. Well, I wasn't really a drinker, so it was a night that I had just recently started drinking. And like a dumbass, I drank Devil's Springs, which we all know is fucking hell, is
It's like
hell.
rubbing alcohol.
And yeah, I got drunk really fast, and I ended up alcohol poisoning myself. So
I remember that.
yeah, yeah, and so yeah, it was
Damn, I
just
remember that.
it was pretty bad. And then the next day, I wanted to leave the house because I was so upset, but I didn't want to be in the house because I just wanted to leave. My mom didn't want to let me leave. Long story short, a lot of arguing and stuff, whatever. I started like panicking because I couldn't leave and I just had so much on my mind. I was so stressed out. I was still drunk and feeling like shit. So anyway, I started hyperventilating because I was crying, and then my whole body just like went stiff. And yeah, it took a while for my body to loosen up again. And um, yeah, so it's every time I have a little panic attack, I have to be careful because it'll start with my hands tingling. And like if I'm really nervous, my hands stiff up. If I, so I, then I have to be careful. I have to calm down. I have to breathe. What about you, Sawyer?
Shit. Everything fuels that shit. My my anxiety more than my depression. My depression is something that I have to deal with on a regular basis as a whole, regardless.
Yeah.
But with my anxiety, a car could drive past me, and my anxiety will start acting up.
Have you ever been in a situation that has made your anxiety worse?
Yes, and actually, I didn't even realize how bad your anxiety can get. I thought my anxiety was at its peak. It couldn't get any worse. There was a morning when I was leaving work. I work overnight. I was leaving, and there was a couple of guys that would come into the store. Regardless, I'd see them on a regular basis, but they were scammers, and we didn't accept them. So I did my regular routine. Walked up to the Lucy spot, went to get my sandwich, all of that, waiting for the bus. And I hear these two guys. Isn't that tranny from Dungeon? And by the time I know it, I'm thrown to the floor, and these six dudes are pounding on me and beating the shit out of me. One throws a bottle in my face, gashes my face. One knocks my back tooth out. If I wasn't cool with the police out there, I swear to God, the neighborhood that I work in is pretty shitty. I don't know if I would have survived that. But the police, thank the universe, showed up when they did. They were able to get four of them. The other two they got later on. Um, but since that day, I get mini panic attacks just to leave my house. It took a good 2 3 months for me to be able to walk by myself outside. If I wasn't with my dog, if I wasn't with one of my friends, I wouldn't go outside. I would wait until somebody would come and bring it for me, or I would wait when I go out with my mom or something like that. Like I wouldn't leave by myself, and still to this day, I'm still looking over my shoulder, going outside, going to places that I don't know, that I'm not familiar with. It triggers my anxiety to the utmost. And you guys usually see in most of the videos that I'm smoking. a bloody cigarette, and that's because it helps my anxiety. Um, why do you think talking about anxiety and depression is something that is not really spoken about, especially with people our age?
Because it's something that it's very looked down on and not taken seriously. If everyone on this planet could get some psychological help, do you know how much better the place can be? Not even just psychological, spiritual. We're in a shitty world, one, to begin with. Two, people think that if you talk about anxiety or depression, you're just being a crybaby, you're just looking for attention, you just pity yourself, swim in self wallow.
And even sometimes we kind of feel like that, and that's wrong.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, yeah, it's true. That is what we do, but when I get hit with some hard shit and emotionally I can't handle it, my whole world comes falling apart because anxious. I get so anxious I cannot think. Then I become depressed because I'm just like, fuck, how did I get here? How do I get myself out? Everything becomes blurry. It seems like, excuse me, it seems like there's no way out. And then when it comes to therapy, you have to go through intake, you have to go through this Medicare, Medicaid
and then if they
shit.
don't take your
Yeah, if they don't
insurance, you gotta
take you,
pay.
ever since we got this new Obamacare, it's been so hard to find a good therapist because I'm so limited. I'm so limited. And it's just, yeah, back to the whole intake fucking process. It's like I could be sitting here in front of the therapist's face, like, look, I'm fucking cutting my wrist in front of your face. Help me. I don't know what to do with myself. I want to kill myself. I just have a couple of questions I
Do you,
have to ask
do you
before
have
we move
funds?
forward with this process. Have you? Actually, what did you have for breakfast? How is this fucking relevant? Anyway.
And it's fucked up because I'm a psychology major, and the human mind is a remarkable place, and it's triggered by a lot of hormones. Like, any hormonal imbalance can trigger your emotions, and a lot of people don't realize that. They that like with females, when they're going through their cycle, some of them get emotional, some of them get cranky, some of them get angry, some of them get horny. You know, it all depends on your cycle. But it for especially people in our age group, it's something that's so not spoken about that we disconnect from each other instead of just talking. Like, literally, this whole introvert thing is now a fad. It's cool to be an introvert. Am I saying that word correctly? Introvert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, no, it's not cool, but I said the word right, so that's cool. Um,
So yeah, I think mainly that's why people don't really like to talk about it.
and that's why they deal with it alone.
Yeah. Also in school, there's not a lot of help. We need more help. We need people to understand that it's a mind weakening thing. And if we can't function up here, this can't function.
Exactly. There's something called. I was talking about it the other day. When your psyche breaks, like, now imagine you're sitting down and you're dealing with all of this on a day-to-day basis, and you don't have a muse, you don't have something to let it out on. We found an outlet to let all of that stress and anxiety and depression
Art.
out on. We're artists. Like, she paints, she's in theater, she dances, sings pretty badly. I had to pop the bubble, no, but she's late. I started painting again. I play instruments. I I see I see the world, even if it's shitty at most, or I try to see it for a beautiful place, in my mind at least, because it helps. It helps. Alright, Christopher Columbus.
Is anybody out there?
Shut the fuck up. But a lot of people don't really have what would they call a safe space.
Safe space, outlets, an ear, the courage, the knowledge, the form to express, to ask for help, to understand what it is they're feeling.
It's more
And
fear.
smelling.
It's...
Alexis. Elephant in the room.
My dog just farted.
Like 5 times. Like this whole time I've been trying to hold it in, but I just keep gulping. Like, it's disgusting. Anyway.
We find the little things to laugh about, you see? Like, even though this is a serious topic, we're trying to make you guys understand that you shouldn't be, afraid or ashamed to talk about it. Really shouldn't. Like, there's days where I literally walk up to my mom and I'm just like, I won't drink some bleach.
But be careful. Be careful who you do speak to.
Because
I suggest keeping a journal.
That too. A burn book. We've both tried burn books before. Those are remarkable. You take all of your negative thoughts and energy and you put it in the book, and then when you're done with the book, you set it on fire. It's the best feeling in the world. That, or, we're humans, we're real. I think she's real. I think she's real. I know I'm real. This is skin and flesh. You could reach out to us. You could talk to us. Not so much her. I don't really know what's wrong with her. Because we've learned how to cope with anxiety.
Still learning.
Well, still
learning. Day by day. Because
it's a journey.
It's a life thing, really. Unless you,
if you
master
life. But there's a saying, you can't sit in shit and be comfortable. So, I understand it's hard. There's days that we can't do it either. There's days where we really don't want to be bothered. There's days where we stop beating up yourself, dear. They're going to call the police.
Every day.
They're going to call Bellevue for you, honey. Stop. There's days where we literally keep our phone on Do Not Disturb and silent and just say fuck the world. I'm not going to lie to you. We do it all the time. But within those days, what we do? We search. We meditate. I can't deal with this child. We find ways. We either paint, we walk, we go out, get some air. We take a break from our cell phones. Because I feel like sometimes that's what disconnects us. Realistically. You guys are so worried about what people think about you on social media that you forget who you really are. And that's what really fuels anxiety and depression. Worried about what people think about you. Which goes back to kids like us. We don't really care what people think about us. For episode 3, anxiety and depression. How kids like us handle anxiety and depression. I hope you enjoyed.